following, those little arguments, not arguments, but the exposing of SHAUNATTWOOD here and there. And I saw the Sammy the Bull video. I just thought it was hilarious. I had to upload it. I just thought it was so funny. Does nobody else think this is funny? It's bloody hilarious that he's getting involved like this. And so I uploaded it. But it seems to have triggered him very badly. He hasn't really responded much except for in chats and things like that, but he hasn't done any videos in response to all, this prank video and what people are saying. He's just trolling people and being nasty and calling everybody trolls who says anything, the usual story. But he's done a response for that. Now, he did say, I'll put a little clip, I saved a clip. He did say he never said he met Sammy the Bull. So categorically, I'll say that. He did say, I don't know, I've not watched all his videos, but he does mention him a lot and name drop him quite a lot. So I don't think the original, well, do you call it an accusation or whatever it is, original query, it's not the fact that he said he met him, it's the fact that he's name dropping and mentioning him, like Sammy the Bull says, why is he fucking mentioning my name all the time, So that's mainly the reason. It's not that he said he met him and no one believes it. It's because of all the name dropping and all the videos he keeps doing, mentioning it all the time. That's, more like it. But he did say, haven't met him, never, ever, 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 ever have I said I met him, but I did infiltrate his house. He did infiltrate Sammy the Bull's house. Can't see that either, Sean. Pull the other one. This is getting ridiculous.
Sean, English Sean versus Sammy the Bull's crew. I always put Sammy the Bull's crew because, like I said in the beginning, I never, ever said, ever, that I met Sammy the Bull. I had infiltrated his house. I had a woman inside his house at that time because shit was kicking off on the streets with his foot soldiers and my foot soldiers. And I had a woman infiltrate his house. She was going to barbecues on the weekends over there and gave me the rundown on the logistics. But I never, ever actually met Sammy the Bull. I only met his son, and that the first time that happened was in Towers Jail.
So, yeah, he had a girl there, over there every weekend, getting the logistics and finding out all the information. A little informer, like the FBI have little informers, and send them into places. Sean had a girl that went into Sammy the Bull's house, infiltrated all his antics and logistics. What's logistics? Everything. All Sammy the Bull's movements and his house layout and everything else. And so that's more believable than him actually meeting him. So he's just dug a bigger hole for himself now. Because I bet my life that this is not true. Sammy the Bull doesn't know anything about him. And he claims, no, I wasn't a big one, I wasn't this, I wasn't tough. Yet he's sending informers, infiltrating mafia bosses' houses. Come on, people, come on. Should I even know who this Sammy the Bull is? Should I even know who Soapy Balls is, or Soapy Saki? Purple Aki. Should I know these people? Why do I know who these people are? I mean, just want to point out as well that, trolls getting blamed for this, that and the other. I'm definitely not a troll. My picture and face and my real name is there, and I actually get trolled quite a bit for speaking out about things, but there are a lot of scammers out there scamming vulnerable people. But it's not only that, it's the rubbish that they're putting into people's heads, and people with any real evidence of anything is just going by the wayside. The same with the abuse and everything else, all the real causes that are not getting a look in, and it's just taking money, resources, as I said, time, effort, everything away from the real causes. This is my concern. And if you don't speak up because you're afraid of being trolled, well, what kind of a world is that? We're just going to bury our heads and let everybody do what they want and nobody's ever going to say anything anymore? Well, I don't live in a world like that either. So, yeah, one thing he said is about Darren G. Trolls have been writing to Darren G, showing this, that, and the other. He mentioned several things. They did this, that, but he didn't mention the fact that he didn't return Darren G's book, did he? Didn't mention that at all in the video. So Darren G did say that. I was asking him for a year. He ignored my texts, ignored my calls, ignored everything. Wouldn't give the book back. And then eventually he came up, did the interview, and got the book back. So he didn't mention that when he was talking about Darren G's turned against me because of the trolls. And maybe it's because you didn't return his book. You didn't mention it. This is why people are coming up against you, because you're so full of lies and full of shit. You're not being honest about things, about anything. As I said, I uploaded the Sammy the Bull video because I thought it was really funny at first. But and I think it's spot on as well, and it serves him right for telling lies. You don't expect these people to come back, probably. He's an old man. Probably didn't expect him to come online, and he has, and people have brought some things to his attention, probably, or something like that. I think somebody asked him a question, and he just said, no, I don't know Sean Atwood, I don't know who he is, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea where they got the video from. I just saw it and copied it and uploaded, mirrored it. I don't know who uploaded it, where they got it from, but I just, I wasn't the first to upload it. A couple of other people had as well, but it seems to have really got up his nose, because and you can tell, I've got a virus on my throat. I can't laugh. It's because you're fake laughing. That was a forced laugh. That's why it was hurting your throat. And I know Sammy the Bull. Don't know Sammy the Bull. I know of Sammy the Bull because I I researched all this. I love mafia stories and all those Al Capone from a long time ago, and the Gottis and Gambinos and all that. So, and I love The Sopranos, one of my favourite programs. So I love all that. So I knew of him. I knew who he was when I saw the Sammy the Bull video. That's why I thought it was so hilarious. I just thought that was hilarious. But obviously it's gotten right up his nose. But now you're saying you infiltrated his house. Come on. Seriously. Seriously. Is anyone believing this? He infiltrated the mafia bosses. Underboss. What? Mafia hitman? He's responsible for killing 19 people or something. Maybe not by his own hands, but he organised it all and did some of them with his own hands, and some other people did others. It depends who was right for the job. He explained that in his videos. So Sean Atwood is going on like there were wild parties at Sammy the Bull's house and everyone was allowed in, anyone was allowed in, sort of thing. Well, in my opinion, mafia hitmen would keep their identity more or less secretive, and not let people know where they live. So how did he even know where he lived? These people keep themselves to themselves and their own gangs, and nobody would have been in his house that he didn't know. Trust me on that one. Seems like, as has happened in the past before with several other so-called truthers, their backstory is breaking down. When one thing goes, it is like the House of Cards, isn't it? One just takes one to do a little wobble and tilt, and the rest come crashing down. And that's what's happening here. It's happened several times when you're in the truth movement, as long as I am. It begs the question again, why are people like Sean Atwood continually pushing absolute liars and fakes and putting all this stuff in people's heads? Is he put there in place deliberately to defract from real cases? This has been said. When you look at the bottom line, it does seem that way in a lot of cases, because they're in every circle. I mean, I'm in the UFO. I started off UFO, trying to get my UFOs out there, UFO researchers, and I found the same, exactly the same. And then when you dig a bit deeper, you find the same people are all connected in every circle. It's not a coincidence. So is it just all a fact of scammers backing each other up all the time? That is the case in a lot, yeah. But is somebody else paying them in place to just kill all truth and cause rampages and just get everyone's heads in a mess so they don't believe anything that comes out? I think people have to take things on a case-by-case basis and stop generalizing. This is a problem when you start generalizing and think, oh, this is the situation everywhere, when it's really not. Keep your feet on the ground, keep your head together, and don't believe all you hear from these people, because they're raking in money and leaving everyone in a mess and wrecking little circles. There's been loads of little circles going by themselves, you know, just little support groups that they've infiltrated and smashed and broken to pieces, and so people are not even getting support that they should be, not just the money side of it, but time, effort, friendships all over the place, all fake. It's ridiculous. It's absolute horrible to see when you're just standing back and looking, just see everybody fighting all the time. Somebody is orchestrating all this. This is not all accidental or coincidental. So people need to be a bit wary, not believe everything they hear, first of all, especially from people like Sean Atwood. A lot of his guests are highly questionable. The information, when it comes to it, you've got to start from scratch again and, you know, rub a lot of it out. It's confusing a lot of people. Referring to Wilfred Wong, more or less, stuff, things like this being put out, and very vulnerable people and gullible people believe all this and are scaring them to death, causing a lot of damage. He knows this is not, a lot of this isn't true. They know, trust me. But they're willing to put these on and fool the public and take your money at the same time. What does this say about a person? This should sum them up and tell you what kind of personality and integrity they have. There's no integrity there. And then stupid prank, so-called prank that wasn't a prank. Absolute sleazy to the core, and he shouldn't be trying to claim the name he is, activist against abuse and all this kind of hypocritical nonsense. I've seen this so many times now in the truth movement. There's a lot of criminals, as I've said over and over. A lot of them have criminal records when you look in deep, get their real names and do the research, but there's not many are doing the research unless something comes to their attention. They think, oh, I'll look into this person, see what I can find, and then it comes out. But a lot of them, they sort of apologise for each other as well. Oh, the police are after him, the police don't like us telling the truth, the government is out to get me, they're going to frame me, all this kind of rubbish again, like Brian Garish up there yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, making apologies for Wilfred Wong. He's a hero, apparently. First of all, he's meant to be a barrister. Surely he knows what kind of situation he was getting himself into. If he didn't, it means his mind is completely gone. He's completely gone off the scale. If he hadn't even got the sense to rationalise what they were doing and what the consequences would be afterwards. Did he think they were going to get away with this in the eyes of the law? Even if it's two partners fighting against each other, the other one's going to call the police, and you can see how that's going to look. Even if it was a rescue mission, which is totally unacceptable as an excuse. It's ridiculous, people saying this. A poor child. It's not acceptable in any sense of the imagination. Absolutely ridiculous, these people now, calling him a hero. He's putting his life at risk, and he put himself out there to save a child. He's a mentalist, absolute, off the scale. These people who are in this abuse and things like this, day by day, 24/7, there's something wrong with them. Even the highly trained police officers need counselling when they're dealing with cases and need to take breaks when they're on it every day. But these people, like Ron Swanson as well, in every sleazy circle you can find, numerous names, playing the part of sleazeballs constantly. So should these podcasters and hosts bear some responsibility when they're caught doing something like kidnapping a child at knife point, taking it 200 miles away? Should you know, Sean Atwood bears some of the responsibility for promoting these kind of people when they know damn well what they're putting out there is not true. Don't tell me he believes all that. Absolutely not. They know quite well they're just in it for the money. These people they think they're business people. They have marketing strategies. They study this stuff before they put their channels out. They know how to get to the public. They know what clickbait is, and they know all about this kind of stuff. They know about the algorithms, and so these are marketing people running a business, and they don't give a damn about your feelings, their feelings, anyone's feelings, what you believe, what you don't believe. They're just after the clicks and the money. That's it. It's, you know, this the day and age we've come to now. It's happened over and over and over again. All these people who are great podcasters suddenly get found out to be doing, they can't even be satisfied with the way, you know, their channel, the way they're running it. They have to do dirty things as well. And this is how they get found out, when they just start going below human levels and their integrity just disappears. And they get uncovered and disgraced and found out. So it just shows that they weren't in it in the first place for the good, were they? So should they bear some responsibility for all this mess? I think so, definitely. And the reason why a lot of these people put in your mind, don't trust the police, don't trust the police, is because when they get caught, then they can say, I was set up, I told you they were going to set me up. They say all this in advance because they know they're breaking the law. They know they are breaking the law, and it's all going to come to a head one day. This is why they cover themselves, and then other people say, yeah, he knew this was going to happen. They won't let him get the word out. They put into people's heads, don't trust the police, don't trust the law, don't trust judges, don't trust this, because they want to turn it around in the end. It's maddening, really is. You know, the sad thing is, I've met people deep in conspiracy land, and their minds are made up, unfortunately. They're not willing to even bend slightly or look at things a different way and say, maybe I was wrong, maybe I've got this overboard or something. No, they're not. They're not. They're so set in their mindset. You can see, you know, where they're coming from. And I don't know, there's no hope for these people unless they just sit back one day, look in the mirror and say, for everything I believe in is absolute shit, and start again. This is what they need to do, because they believe in warped things in every area. You know, it's the same old story. It's all the David Icke stuff, all this kind of shit. They all believe the same stuff, and they're convinced they're right. So there's no rationalizing or speaking to them, trying to get them to think about things. Some people are midway, but it's, as I said, it's a slippery slope. I believe in evidence, and I look at things case by case basis. Don't generalize anything. Don't generalize anywhere, because there's good and bad everywhere, isn't there? And we know there are people out there who do evil, horrible things, but on the scale as what they're trying to make out and make everyone believe is ridiculous now. You know, and then you got religion coming into it, and it's like good versus evil, and you got people on the evil side, people on the good side, and you don't believe what they believe, you're on the evil side. There's no halfway. Well, what if you don't believe either side? You know. And I'd like to say everything in this video is my opinion. I know probably some wouldn't agree and some do agree, but I try to be a rational person, human being with integrity, and I like to speak up when I see things not right. And there's a lot of things not right, let's face it. I know some would think I'm not entitled to an opinion because I possibly believe in UFOs or something like that. You know, oh, she's in that job, don't listen to her. She's not capable of saying anything else. You know, like you can't have more than one interest. You know, everyone's entitled to believe what they believe, and fully entitled to follow what they follow, what they want to follow. But when it starts encroaching on the public, and you can see what's going on, and it's just unacceptable, and the things they talk about, it is totally unacceptable. Are these videos ever marked over 18? Because a lot of the stuff wouldn't be for kids. I don't remember ever seeing age restrictions on anything, but I'm shocked with some of the stuff that these come out with. Imagine kids hearing this. It's disgraceful. And we're having these people, sick people with their absolute sick fetishes shoved in your face constantly. This is all it is. This is what it is. So, should we speak up when we see something we don't, or just leave people be? But when it's in the public interest, I think you have to speak up. You have to say something. Otherwise, what kind of world we're going to be living in? People like this running rampant all over the place. Here there's some news coming out about Wilfred Wong, that this was a rescue mission, it was a family, and there have been some Facebook posts made. I think at the moment this is all hearsay, isn't it? And some are even making it possible to identify the child, which I think is absolutely disgusting, highly irresponsible. They didn't even think twice about putting that information out. I don't think you shouldn't do this, really. It's, people are saying, throwing the words allegedly around. Well, the fact remains, they were arrested at the scene. There were 4 people arrested at the scene by armed police, surrounded in a car with false number plates. That's a fact. I've heard some criticise the stupid reporting from the papers. Well, there's hardly anything in the report. It's just a few facts. The fact is, 6 people were arrested, taking a child at knife point, driving 230 miles away. 4 arrested on the scene, 2 in a house. Now, they have been charged, which means they were held for some hours and questioned before they were charged. You don't just get charged just like that. And there's no hearsay involved here. There's no someone fake reporting. They were arrested at the scene. So that's not allegedly, is it? That's a fact. So the reporting is up to scratch, really, as far as I'm concerned. They haven't put anything in it, even though they've been criticised for bending the story. There is no story there at the moment in the papers. It's fact. The fact remains that the child was abducted and 6 were arrested. And that's all the report says. So, as far as I'm concerned, the news reports are absolutely spot on. If that is the case, and they have been arrested and charged, which I'm sure we'll find out if that's not the case. So I think everything else is just hearsay at the moment, isn't it? People shouldn't really get carried away till they know the facts. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Be good, be nice, and be safe. Bye for now.